go hard on them because they know a lot of pool. So, good luck to you guys.
Hello guys, I'm joined by Imran Majid, all the way from London town.
Hello guys, welcome to the World Pool Series in this beautiful IDM club in Bucharest, Romania. I have the pleasure of Darren Appleton in the box with me. We joined this match in rack 6, 4-1 to Chris so far.
Yeah, just let us know if the sound is okay, if you can hear me and Imran.
I was watching this match earlier in rack 3. Chris actually hooked himself on his last ball and made a beautiful one-rail kick.
In this match?
In this match, yeah.
Oh, okay.
One rail kick on his last ball and got positioned for the 8 as well. Great shot that was.
Yeah, well Chris, I was actually, before the match, he asked me if he could borrow my extension for the end of his cue.
Right.
He's never used it before,
Yeah.
and he's never used an extension before, so I was very surprised that he decided to just put it on there and go straight into this match with no practice and use the extension, but he's still got the extension on, and what I've seen so far, he looks like he's playing really good.
Yeah, he started the match off really well. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Wojtek had a chance rack 1, but didn't run out. And Chris has took command from there. And it's got a nice little 3-rack lead.
yeah, I mean, if I don't know what's happening here, Robert. Something keeps happening with the sound. Keeps changing. The sound keeps changing. Sometimes I can hear myself, and sometimes I can't. Yeah, if we were playing 9-ball or 10-ball, it'd probably be a pretty even match.
Yeah.
But 8-ball, you got to put Chris' favourite.
Yeah, I would regard Chris as like one of the 8-ball specialists, one of the best, 8-ball players in the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing with Chris is that you don't know which Chris Mellon's going to show up.
Yeah, he's not the most consistent of players. I mean,
Yep.
he can play outstanding, and then the next match he can play not so good.
Yeah, but he is having a good season, so he's probably having his best season since 2011, since he won the China Open.
Right.
He's been a bit quiet since 2012. Obviously, he went back to snooker for a couple of years. That didn't work out. So now he's been back playing pool for the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's been residing in America quite a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Playing
he's
a few
been travelling
tournaments.
more the last 2 years than he has done for the last, let's say, 4 or 5. So it's good to see him back and playing good and starting to show his potential, let's say, in American pool. Even though he's had some success in American pool, me personally, with his ability and his talent, I'd probably say he's underachieved, Imran.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, amazing talent, Chris.
I mean, you've got to promote there with Jason Shaw on pure talent and ability.
Yeah. For me, he's like one of the best single ball putters in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Him and Jason, their shot making's unbelievable. The only difference between the two is that Jason's worked a lot harder over the last few years.
Yeah.
But obviously Chris is having a good season this year, so let's see if he can continue this. And I definitely think Chris is in the equation at the moment for the Mosconi Cup if there was to be a wild card. I mean, he is having a good season. Maybe he's had success in the wrong tournaments when it wasn't Mosconi Cup points.
Yeah.
A little bit like Joshua. He's had a really good year, but he's won a lot of tournaments what wasn't Mosconi Cup points.
Right.
So sometimes the pool world's a bit deceiving. And Chris was originally, let's go back 15, 20 years when I first met Chris. He was maybe 13 years old. At the time I was maybe 17. And I took Chris on the road, took him, travelled around with me. And then from around the age of 16 to, let's say, 21, Chris was playing snooker, 9-ball and English 8-ball. And I always said to him, I says, you're not gonna be fulfilling your potential 100% unless you just focus on one out the three.
One discipline, yeah, yeah,
So Chris has always like been good at all three, but didn't. But snooker's a game what requires you to practice day in, day out,
and it
5, 6, 7 hours a day.
and it's not for him. He hasn't got that discipline, I think.
Yeah, and he wanted to play pool and nine ball. I'm thinking, well, I mean, if I had his ability and I was as good as him at snooker when he was 17, 18, I would have focused 150% on snooker.
Yeah,
Because at that time, he did get on the snooker tour when he was like 18 to 21 years old, and he was a better snooker player than what he was, let's say, now. Obviously, he was a lot younger. His cue action was unbelievable back then. I mean, I know he's a good cueist now, but he was an even better cueist back then, in my opinion.
right.
And he was, no disrespect, but he was a lot slimmer as well. So obviously he was a lot fitter then also, and I think he should have focused on snooker when he was younger. I think he could have made it, because in my opinion, when he was 21, let's say, I think he was better than the likes of Mike Selby. He was better than Tom Ford, and a lot of them guys around that time. You know what I mean? He had more potential, in my opinion, than especially someone like Tom Ford.
Yeah, he didn't really follow it through, to its full potential.
Yeah. So what happened then is that obviously he played on the snooker tour. After about 2 or 3 years, he dropped off the rankings because you have to stay in the top 64. So then he come back to pool. He had quite a bit of success at English 8 ball. He still played a little bit of snooker, but not like professionally. And then obviously he played in some 9 ball tournaments. And then then about 10 years ago, I mean, probably 12 years ago now, he obviously started playing American pool full time. Had some success for like 6, 7 years. Then he went into snooker for a couple of years. Obviously, dropped off the tour again because, again, in my opinion, he didn't dedicate himself.
Yeah,
But in my opinion, he's when 3 years ago he'll have been like 35 years old. I think he'd missed the boat.
that's a bit too old
Yeah.
for snooker. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He had a go at the Q school like a year or two ago, didn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah, I mean, he played he qualified, but
Yeah.
he dropped off the tour because you have to stay in the top 64.
Yeah.
You get 2 years, but he didn't dedicate himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't practicing enough. He was still trying to play a little bit of English 8 ball, a little bit of 9 ball. He should have been on that table. He should have lived and breathed on the
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
And obviously, unfortunately for him, it didn't work out. But he's back playing pool, and I think he's more suited to American style pool than he is snooker and English 8 ball.
I think so too.
Because it's a shot maker's game. He can be a bit more looser with the cue ball. He likes to play he likes spinning the cue ball. He likes playing the big shots, and on the American pool table you can do that. So I think his game's always been more suited to American style pool than it has
Yeah, because he has
English
a
8 ball
long
and snooker.
backswing, and you can't always get away with that in snooker. On a pool table you can get away with it.
Well, someone asked what's his biggest tournament win in snooker. He won a challenge tour maybe 15, 20 years ago, which was like a secondary tour to try and get on the main tour. So he won one of those. He actually beat Tom Ford in the final. I remember that. He beat Tom Ford in the final of the challenge tour, which basically qualified him to play on the professional tour. But as a professional, I don't believe he won any professional snooker tournament except for that challenge tour. I mean, that would be classed as it's like a semi professional tour, you would say. Yeah, it's a shame really. I mean, but obviously, like I said before, I think he's more suited to American pool than the other games, and it's good to see him back playing and playing really well, having a good season, and yeah, he's obviously won the Derby City 9 ball early in the year, which is a massive tournament to win, especially with their format and their rules, because you've got to rack your own balls. And anybody who's been to the Derby or know about the Derby, that there's a lot of fiddling with the rack there. So, and Chris doesn't know anything about how to rack the ball, so for him to win that,
He won it fair.
yeah, I mean, to win that
square,
tournament, for me, that was his biggest achievement. That was a better win, in my opinion, than the China Open.
And in the final, he was like 8-3 down to John Mora and came back and won.
Yeah, 9-8. It was amazing. Yeah. Well, Chris can do that. He can do things on a table what no one else can do at times. And yeah, I mean, he's unbelievable talent. And the guy's playing probably one of the best Polish players. Imran knows him better than me.
Yeah, I've played with Wojtek over the years, and yeah, he's definitely improved over the last 2-3 years. He actually likes playing in Romania. I think he's won the last two events here.
Yeah, I know he won the Bucharest Open, which was a tough field.
And he won it the year before as well.
Yeah, he's a good player, very good player. I know he got to the final of the World Cup of Pool about 4 or 5 years ago with his partner. I'm not too sure. I can't remember who he played with in the doubles. In Poland, they lost to Finland in the final in the Philippines around 2012. Yeah, he's a good cueist actually, this guy. He left himself a bit tricky on the 8-ball, and that's what happens.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you don't get perfect. And he was a bit anxious on there. If he put a very quick stroke in, jumped a little bit on the shot, and
He's gifted this rack to Chris. Now I'd be surprised if it's not 5-2.
Yeah, pool's a crazy game. You need little things like that to go your way. Your opponent makes some mistakes like that. And if you go back to one of the earlier rounds, Imran, I think maybe the first day, Chris was playing against the other Polish player, Konrad.
Yeah.
And it was a really, really good player. And Chris missed his last. He missed the black at 10-9, did Chris?
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was unbelievable.
The Polish player's got like 5 balls all over the pocket, and he missed a straight-in ball.
Yeah.
And that allowed Chris to make it 10-10, and then obviously Chris beat him in the shootout. So you need to look at the right time to win tournaments, and maybe it's Chris's turn. I mean, he has been close in the World Pool Series. He's been to maybe a couple of semi-finals and a couple of quarterfinals, but he hasn't won. He hasn't won a World Pool Series yet. So, and we're playing 8-ball here, and I would say in his half of the draw, I would put him favourite to win the tournament because I think he's got slightly on paper the easiest half.
Yeah.
Because it looks the other half, you got Kachi against Torsten Oman, you got Jason Shaw against Daniel. Daniel.
No, Jason plays Thorsten.
Marshall.
Jason plays Thorsten. Kachi plays Daniel Mackerel.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Jason and Kachi could collide in the semi-finals, but I'm sure obviously Torsten and the Daniel will have a lot to say about that. And the winner of this match will play the Romanian,
Ladani or Fido Gors, yeah.
Yeah, or Fida Gorst. Fida Gorst having a good tournament, so I will put Fida Gorst favourite in that match.
Yeah, I would as well, yeah.
And Chris is obviously in good shape here, but remember it's a race to 13, so there's a long way to go. Obviously opponents are a little bit on tilt here, so he's taking his time out, which is very wise.
Yeah. Mind you, that Loan Ladani, local favourite from Romania.
Very solid.
Beat Ruslan Chinahov yesterday.
A very solid player, and he's a good story actually, because he was in the pool room the day before the tournament. He was practicing playing some money games, and he didn't enter the tournament. So he don't speak any English. So I said to his interpreter, I says, look, why is he not playing? So I'm saying, why is he not playing the tournament? He says, he's not too sure whether he should be playing, and he's not feeling good, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, he's got to play. I said, he's probably, in my opinion, maybe a top 2 Romanian player. So I'm thinking, so he entered right at the last moment. I mean, we were just about to do the draw,
yeah.
And he come with his 350.
Yeah.
So I mean, so now it's a good story because he's in the final 8.
Yeah.
Guaranteed himself €1,200, and he's got a chance of winning the tournament, and it would be by far his biggest achievement if he was to win.
Definitely.
Yeah, Fida already beat Ladadi in the first round, but that was the first round. Now we're in the final 8, and it means nothing. Them victories or defeats, first, second, third round, doesn't mean anything now. In some ways, it can catch you. You know what I mean? You'll beat a guy to qualify for the single elimination round, and then you end up playing him later in the tournament, and then he beats you.
He beats you.
Because like your mindset changes.
Yeah. Intriguing match on the last scheduled match today is Jason Shaw versus Thorsten Homan. Jason's already beaten Thorsten already once in the earlier rounds, so that should be a good match. I'm sure Thorsten wants to take revenge there.
Yeah, they were all great matches. Be interested to see the guy, Daniel
Makiel.
Makiel, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, from Poland. Yeah.
He's a good young player. I mean, his patterns are a little bit Obviously, he's very young, so he's still a lot to learn. But he plays fearlessly. He shoots very good, and he breaks the balls pretty good. So I mean,
He's had some
and
good
Daniel actually
wins.
beat Catchy in the first round.
Yeah.
So
Then he beat
again,
Dennis Grape.
yeah, and he beat Dennis Grabe and he beat myself. So don't discount this young man.
No, no.
And but Catchy looks like he's finding his feet.
Yeah.
He's got stronger as the time that's gone on.
Yeah,
So Catchy will be really determined to get his revenge there.
He had a good match with Mario He last night. I think it was like they were tied up at 8-8, and then Kachi found a gear, and he put like 4 racks together consecutively, and came with some really good runouts with a couple of bank shots involved in the runouts, and yeah, I was watching that, really impressive.
Yeah, let's see how Chris breaks this ball with a BK rush. Probably the best break you on the market, in my opinion, by a mile.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt.
I mean, it's not even close, really. I mean, even I'm breaking good with this shaft. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's got a lot of power and accuracy, low deflection, and you can always hit the one pretty flush with a lot of power.
But also, it's very forgiving.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like a driver in golf. The equipment they're bringing out now, the drivers in golf, the clubs are very forgiving. You can hit it bad and still get a good result.
Right.
And this is the Revo. Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, the cue ball was always going towards the corner pocket there, off the stripe, so...
Well, I thought he could have played like a soft screw shot, like draw
and
shot,
miss
miss that ball completely.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That was very careless there from Chris.
Yeah. Chris has got to be a little bit careful here, because Wojtek's a very good player. He's very steady and solid. Doesn't make too many mistakes, so although Chris has got a 3-rack lead, he can't take his foot off the gas here.
Well, that's Chris Melling's game, isn't it? I mean, he does make some stupid mistakes, let's
Yeah,
be
he
honest.
does.
I mean, he does do that type of stuff, but then he does something unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and the thing with Chris is that he's very good at forgetting his mistakes.
Yeah.
He's got a great temperament, and that's very important. I mean, oh wow, this guy's really struggling. But after the 8-ball the guy missed in the last game, I mean, Chris needs to be punishing that,
Yeah,
and he hasn't. He's basically give this guy a gift here and missing that 8-ball in the previous game. Now he's completely forgot about that because he hasn't been punished for it. You know what I mean? He only got punished for 1 game, but he's got the game back straight away. So big let off there, and this guy looks like he's lacking a bit of confidence.
What would you say about Chris's patterns in 8-ball? I mean, I know he's won the World Championship English pool, but would you say these patterns are kind of up there with the likes of you, yourself, and Mick Hill, Gareth Potts, etc.?
Not really.
Yeah.
He knows the game as good as us.
Yeah.
He can see the finishes as good as myself or Mick Hill or Gareth Potts, but his cue ball's a lot looser.
Yeah.
So he loses a cue ball a lot. So he has to play these great
Recovery
shots
shots.
to get
Yeah.
back in position.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, when he's on, he can do that.
Yeah.
But when he's off, he makes a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between Chris Melling
I
and
would have thought the same thing.
yeah, that's the difference between a Chris Melling and a Mick Hill.
Yeah.
Mick Hill might make. He's going to be super consistent. Even when he's playing bad, he's still tough to beat.
Yeah.
Where Chris, when he's playing good, is very, very tough to beat.
Yeah.
But when he's playing bad, he's very easy to beat.
Exactly.
And that's the difference, really.
Yeah. Yeah, his B game's not as good as
No,
likes
he don't
of
really
that.
have a B game.
Yeah.
Chris has got an A game, and obviously his A game is as good as anybody in the world. But his B game is obviously what's let him down in the past, let's say, because obviously he's not a multiple winner as compared to, let's say, Mick Hill. You know what I mean? Mick can win tournaments playing his B game and his C game. Chris, obviously, the success he has won, he always plays his A game, and so that's why he's not as consistent as
Yeah,
the
and when he
likes of
does
Mick Hill.
play his A game, I think he's like almost unbeatable. Because
Yeah, I
he
mean,
just
it's like
doesn't
Jason, isn't it?
listen. Yeah.
Because they play so quick, they're just fearless, they make all the crazy shots. So you have to play perfect also, you know what I mean? So then it becomes down to the break. You know what I mean? The break's massive. When you got two guys on top of their game,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what. I mean, if Jason's playing Shane Van Bonen and they're both on top of their game, it comes down to that little bit of luck and the break. Because you know they're not going to make mistakes, and that's the same for all the top players. Yourself. I mean, if you're playing Matt Gray on the GB9 and you're both playing your best game, then it comes down to that little bit of luck and the break.
Yeah.
At that type of level, but because obviously when you're on top of your game, it's a strange feeling. You just know you're not going to miss a ball, and you're in that zone. So
Yeah,
it's very hard to find that zone and that feeling. But but when you do find it, it's like the best place to be in the world. The game feels so easy. But when you're not there, it's like the hardest game in the world.
So Wojtek scratched off his break and has gifted this rack to Chris, and it's a pretty good lay of the land.
Yeah, these are laying beautiful. He's going to leave the 9 ball, as you see, on top table. That's going to be his last ball to get on the. That's going to be probably his last ball for the 8 ball. So in 8 ball, I always work backwards. I always look at my last ball, which is my key ball to get on the 8 ball.
Yeah.
So then I try and work backwards, and then you'll see the finish a lot easier. Because sometimes you can confuse yourself and you can overthink and overlook the pattern. But Chris Willen plays what gets on with it pretty quickly, and but it's also important to leave yourself options. Even though you're like planning your pattern, you don't have to 100% stick with that pattern if you're giving yourself 2 or 3
Yeah,
options.
there's always other options. Yeah. So he wants to leave an angle on this board to be straight on the 9 ball.
Well, if Chris misses this
perfect, yeah.
opportunity, I'll probably I'd consider quitting the game. There's no way he's going to miss these. Absolutely no chance of him missing this opportunity. Only an act of God can stop him here. I mean, what I mean by saying that is that he gets a skid or something. And that's not going to happen. So Chris takes a 6-3 lead, and out the 2 players, he looks a lot more comfortable.
I know 8 ball is the most popular discipline in American pool, but did we have talks about playing 9 ball next season for the World Pool Series?
Yeah, obviously we had 8 ball last year. It started off pretty good, successful the first tournament, and then obviously from there we struggled to get the numbers, and it seems like the majority of the players don't want to play 8 ball. And then obviously this year we thought we'll do all 3 disciplines, and then for the grand final we'll let the fans vote, which we're sticking to. In hindsight, I would have probably, if I knew what I knew now, I think I would have changed this tournament to 9 ball. I should have had this tournament as 9 ball.
At the beginning,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I'll have got a lot more entries.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised, when you just stuck to 8 ball.
Yeah, I mean, well, we had 9 ball, 10 ball, and 8 ball, and we decided that at the start of the year. Then the grand final, we'll let the fans vote for which discipline they want us to play. So we're going to stick with that for this year. So the fans will get to vote for the grand final.
You're going to do like a voting poll on Facebook?
Yeah,
or something,
on our Facebook page in the next month or so, we'll let the fans vote which discipline. Right. I'm guessing I think the fans will probably vote for 9 ball or 10 ball.
Yeah.
But you never know. But next year, yeah, I think we need to stick to one discipline, and I don't see a future in 8 ball, to be honest.
Yeah, nor do I really. Especially now we've had the transition from the World Pool Series from America to Europe. I think 9 ball is the most liked game in Europe as well.
Yeah, especially in Europe. I mean, obviously 9 ball is very popular. All the matchroom events at 9 ball, the World Championships, obviously, the US Open's 9 ball. So I think, obviously, it's good to experiment, see what everyone likes, what the public is. But I think the most exciting game and everything else, you'd have to say 9 ball's the game, really. Ball, yeah. It's the TV game.
Fast, furious, exciting, jump shots, fast breaks. It's great viewing.
No, I don't agree with drawing the discipline for every match. I think it gets a bit stupid. Like you draw for the discipline for every match. Like at a tournament, so let's say you get the choice of 3 disciplines in a match. I think it complicates things too much, and it confuses the viewers. Let's say you're playing on table 22, you're playing 8 ball. On table 17, they're playing 9 ball. It gets a bit silly.
Yeah, stick to one discipline. That would be the most sensible option. Yeah.
Well, I'll get Chris get selected for the Moscone. Do you think Chris should be selected for the Moscone Cup team?
Well, he's. I think he's definitely put himself in the mix. He's had a very good season. Obviously, winning the Derby City 9-ball and final in Chinese 8-ball event, big event in China.
Yeah, but that's not going to count.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it should only be 9-ball. That's
Yeah.
considered.
I totally agree with you. I mean, this time
towards-
it's a Moscone Cup ranking event, but
Yeah.
the reason why I asked for it to be a Moscone Cup ranking event because there's other disciplines what get included
Yeah.
as Moscone Cup ranking event. So I'm thinking, well, this should definitely be if they're doing it for the World 8-ball and the 10-ball events, and they've done it in 8-ball events before. I'm thinking, well, I mean, all the players are here anyway. They all can play 8-ball. So I mean, more tournaments the better. But I do agree that.
Maybe 10-ball has a little case because it's actually a rotational game.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, obviously, it's an American pool table. Everyone can play 8-ball, really. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, on these tables, it's not like playing Chinese 8-ball. You know what I mean? And everyone can play 8-ball, really.
Yeah, I mean 8-ball. I'm not.
We
putting
all sort of grew up playing 8-ball.
the game down or
I mean-
anything, but it is considered to be like a game for the amateurs. The big
But it depends on
leagues in
what.
America.
Well, it
like-
depends on which table you're playing on.
Yeah.
If you're playing on an English 8-ball table, obviously it's a bit tougher than it is on, let's say, American pool table. But
Yeah.
on a Chinese 8-ball table, obviously it's brutally tough, and that's where
Yeah, like the APA
it really
and
shows up.
the BCA leagues in America.
The thing on
mostly
these
8-ball.
tables, for me, it's like, in some ways, there's more pressure playing 8-ball on these tables than there is English 8-ball and Chinese 8-ball. The reason why, because you should never make a mistake.
And it's
You know what
easier
I mean?
for both parties.
Yeah, it's a bit easy for both players, and you should never make a mistake. So that adds a bit more pressure in itself.
He's played that well.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, Chris, should he get selected? I mean, the problem in Europe is that you've got Clenty Catchy, who's probably the best player in the world right now.
Yeah.
And then the number 2 player on the rankings right now is Mario He, who's
Yeah.
having a great season also.
Yeah.
The number 3 player on the rankings is Al Binaushan. So the top 3 players get picked by rankings. And then after that, they have 2 wildcards. And the problem you've got now is that, let's say that ranking finishes the way it is now. I mean, Catch is virtually guaranteed now.
Yeah, he's guaranteed.
He's so far in front of everyone else on the rankings, it's unbelievable. So Catchy and Mario's in great position to qualify automatic, right? So let's say the 3rd player is Al Binaushan, right? So then 3 players qualify by ranking. Then you only get 2 wildcards. I mean, how do you leave Jason Shaw out?
You can't leave Jason.
How do you
Shaw out.
leave Joshua Filler out?
You can't leave. Niels Fan has got a case as well.
Exactly. So then you got Niels Fayen. So you only can pick 2 players from potentially, let's say, Joshua Filler, Jason Shaw, Niels Fayen,
Niels, yeah.
Alex Kazakis, Chris Melling. Who else is there? Even the Conrad's up there somewhere in the
Yeah,
rankings.
yeah, he won.
I mean, there's a bunch
yeah.
of guys in the mix who could potentially make the Moscone Cup. So,
But for me, the wild card should be between Jason, Niels, and Joshua. Oh,
well, I mean, if you're going on current form, I mean, for me, 100% you're going to pick Joshua Filler
yeah.
because he's having a great
Yeah.
season. But again, I'm going back to what I said before. The success he's had wasn't Moscone Cup ranking tournaments, which is very unfortunate, in my opinion. But because he played so great last year in the Moscone, in my opinion, it's the best debut I've ever seen in the Moscone. I mean, he just dominated the
Yeah,
Moscone Cup.
yeah.
It wasn't even close. I mean, he was by far the best player on
Yeah.
either team.
Yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable how good he played, and he just loved it. He's made for that stage. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
He loved it. He's smiling, he's joking, he's giving
Yeah.
it the big one, and he sort of intimidated the Americans a little bit from a viewer's point of view.
Yeah.
I was on there in the crowd. I could see that there was intimidated by him. So that's a great skill in itself there to be able to do that on his debut. So yeah, I mean, I'd be very surprised if Joshua didn't get a wild card. And then obviously the last one, I mean, Jason and Niels, I mean, and Chris, let's say, you can put him in the mix. So it's a tough one. It's a very tough decision for Marcus Shamat. Maybe this year might be the hardest choice for him. It might be the hardest choice for him to pick his wild cards. And there's going to be a lot of upset pool players.
So then we have a case for Jason and Niels. Niels obviously won the Whirlpool Masters earlier on in the year. Would you put him before Jason?
It's a tough one. I mean, Jason, in my opinion, he hasn't played a lot of pool the last 3 or 4 months, but I know he's been working very hard the last, let's say, 4 or 5 weeks on his game. He's not been playing any tournaments. He's been getting ready for all these big tournaments coming up. So I think the next 2 or 3 months massive for all the players, because the big tournaments kick in, like the China Open, the World 10 Ball.
Yeah, that's exactly what Jason said.
Yeah,
actually.
the
I
US
was talking to
International.
him, yeah, he said
I mean, Clenty's in a great position, but the other spots are wide open. I mean, anything can happen. Because the big major tournaments is where the double points, so you get more points.
Yeah.
So obviously, the next 3 or 4 major tournaments is going to tell us everything we need to know. So I'd be very surprised if Jason's not in the later stages for them tournaments, and I won't be surprised if he won this tournament. So Jason's obviously.
Yeah, he said for him, the Mosconi point selection is starting now because all the major tournaments are coming up with the big points.
Yeah. Yeah, if I was to stick my neck out and we said who would be my 2 wildcard picks right now, I'd probably say Jason and Joshua.
Yeah.
Now Chris, 7-3 up, looks very comfortable at the table. I know after he lost his match, he played a bad match. He lost on the winner's side, but then he come back and won like 11-3 in like 25 minutes. He played a perfect set. I think he beat Fedor Gorst actually. But Fedor Gorst obviously come from the loser's side. He's qualified. Yeah, he did lose to Fedor Gorst, and then Chris come from the losers. But after that match with Fedor Gorst, Chris has played really, really well.
Yeah, he beat the Polish kid, Victor Zielinski, in like half an hour. Played perfect.
And then he won his next match in 13-4 against a top player, and he was like, I'm thinking he only started 1 hour ago.
Yeah.
But Chris can do that.
Yeah, he can do that. He can go on one and.
Good shot, very good shot.
Yeah.
So he's looking very comfortable, very confident, and he seems to have the bit between his teeth. Because obviously, I know Chris like a brother, and around the arena this week, I can see that he's got that little bit of. He's had enough, if you know what I mean. Of everyone else having success, he's like. I've just got a feeling that he's like feeling quietly confident about winning this tournament. I'll tell you what I would like to see from a neutral point of view. I'd love to see Chris Melling against Jason Shaw in the final.
I would as well, yeah. I went out for dinner with them last night and they said, look, it could be you and me in the final.
I mean, that'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Because then there'd be some real needle, because they're roomies. They share the room. They give each other a lot of stick.
That would be an awesome final.
They have a lot of fun together, and they both got the same style, and they're both obviously amazing shot makers, and they both play very quickly. So there'd be a lot of bragging rights to the winner there.
That would be a tough one to call. Who would you like in that match?
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Tough
I mean,
one
if
to
they're both
call.
playing well, then obviously you might well just sit back and enjoy the ride. It could go like 16-16, and we could have a
could be a
shootout. I'd
shootout,
love to see a 16-16, and we have a shootout. That'd
And
be
we have a
unbelievable.
shootout, and then it goes sudden death as well in the shootout. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Someone says Chris is the best Qist ever, Imran.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, on an American pool table, I wouldn't, doubt that comment.
But is his Q action perfect for American pool though?
I don't think it's perfect.
Because maybe for snooker it's good.
I don't think it's good for snooker either.
Yeah, it's a bit too long.
It's too long.
You,
His
that,
backswing's
actually,
too
folks, his Q action used to be even longer.
Really?
It was unbelievable. He has shortened it down a little bit over the years. But is his action perfect for American pool?
No, I don't think it's perfect for American pool.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, his Q action is unbelievable. His Q is smooth, it's everything else. But for American pool, I think you need to be a little bit looser, like a Wu Cha Ching.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think for me, he has the perfect stroke for American pool.
Yeah.
Wu Cha Ching. But I ain't knocking Chris's Q action. I mean, if I was to try and coach somebody, if you're coaching someone, I mean, you'd say, look how straight it is, look how he delivers the ball. But
his fundamentals are very good. His Q action is very good. I just think his backswing is a little bit too long. Yeah.
And he has that bit of a pause at the back, where American pull, I don't really advise that pause at the back.
Yeah.
I think you should pause at the cue ball and then back and through, because you can feel the balls a lot better in American pull doing that. But it works for Chris. Obviously, it works for Chris. I mean, he's definitely one of the best cueists I've ever seen. But
For me, he's the best single ball potter on the American pool table in the world. I'd put him up there with like Will Ching.
Well, I thought that until I saw Jason. I mean, and Jason, I mean, it's unbelievable the balls he knocks in. Unbelievable shot making, Jason Shaw. I mean, what he did at the US Open last year was just sick. I've never seen anything like it before. What he did at the US Open last year against Copigny when he was down 10-5.
Yeah, that was...
Them last 4 racks were just sick. He made 3 shots, what it's like mind-blowing. I always thought Strickland was the best single ball shooter. But then for me, I think I think last year Jason took it to a different level regards single ball shot making. I mean, he's just absolutely sick.
Well, he's been messing around with a different cue now. He's obviously got a new sponsor. And I don't think he's quite used to his new Perry cue.
But Chris is definitely up there with the best shot makers.
Yeah, there's a case for all three. I think that
Yeah.
them three, there's nothing much in it. Yeah.
They'll be in the top 3 or 4 for sure. Yeah, it's all personal preference regards cue actions. Who's got the best cue action? Everything else. I mean, for me, I think Joshua Filler's got the perfect stroke for American pool.
Yeah, very good stroke as well.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, you've got to put him up there as well. He's an unbelievable shot maker.
Yeah, he's another guy. But he's still a baby. So I think we'll be having a conversation again in 10 years. We might be talking about Joshua Filler being the greatest pool player of all time.
Yeah.
So to me, he is the Ronnie O'Sullivan of the pool.
So this is a must-win rack for Wojtek Szewczyk, 8-3 down. He's got a little tricky situation here where he needs to develop the 2-ball and didn't develop it. Now he's like dead really. I don't think he can manufacture that 2-ball into a potable position unless he plays for a bank.
Yeah. The 2 big things I've noticed so far is that his patterns are not really
great,
let's say. Yeah. Obviously, he knows everything there is to know on an American pool table. You can see, obviously, he's a top player, but he's sort of like not too sure about himself around the table playing 8-ball compared to 9-ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he should never be in this position, you know what I mean? Even if he gets on the 2-ball, he should never. I mean, the key to 8-ball is get rid of your proper balls ASAP.
Yeah, he should have tackled that 2-ball earlier on in the rack, and he did have chances too.
Yep. It's called the bank shot. Played it great.
Very good shot.
And that's the advantage with in this game is that most American-style pool players, most of them are pretty comfortable with them type of shots.
Yeah.
To a snooker player or English 8-ball player, thinking, oh, he's dead. But in this game, these guys, they work on these type of shots all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's a massive part of the game. So that was a massive recovery there. Because if he'd have gone 9-3, Imran, I think it would have been game over for me.
Yeah.
8-4 is still in there. A big swing there. Big rack for him to stay in the match.
Yeah, obviously it's a race to 13, so you can't discount him. 8-4 down, it's still doable.
Yeah. How would you pronounce his name?
So it's Wojtek Szewczyk.
Wojtek?
Wojtek.
Wojtek.
You got to get the oi.
Wojtek.
Yeah, Wojtek Szewczyk.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Doesn't slip off the tongue very good.
Yeah, definitely one of the best Polish players. A nice kid too.
Yeah, very nice. I think most of the Polish guys are really nice.
Yeah, they are.
Matthias, he's probably the guy I know the most, and Babika, Matthias Nagoki and Radislav Babika.
Yeah.
Babika's come to all my tournaments. He couldn't make this one because he's got his own tournament actually.
That's right, yeah.
And they're running qualifiers for the main tournament, so he couldn't make this one.
And that's a Moscone event too, isn't it?
Yeah. And we have had talks with him about having the potential Will Pulsar next year.
Over there in Poland.
Because he has like a big venue there, and he gets a room very cheap. So there is a potential for us to bring a Will Pulsar. And also we've had some interest from Belgium, Greece, and obviously this venue also in Romania. So
yeah, I think it's the best thing you could have done is move to Europe for the Whirlpool Series.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean we're not going to have one in America next year, but someone needs to obviously come in and give us an offer, I mean, obviously Scott Frost has shown some interest with his pool room in Freezer's house. Sorry, it's called Freezer's house.
Ice room, isn't
Ice
it?
room, sorry, yeah. Freezers. I think it is called Freezers because that's his nickname.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful room there in Phoenix. I haven't been yet. I've just seen the videos and the pictures.
Yeah.
It looks incredible. Well, it's probably got to be the best pool room in America.
But then again, we'll have it over there. You won't get the support from the Americans. It seems to be an ongoing problem.
Yeah, but maybe New York is. I don't really see it as a big problem because at the end of the day, most Americans can drive. There's Airbnbs are cheap enough, and the Europeans still come and support the tournament even when it's in New York. So
Yeah, there was like one event with like 40 Europeans and 2 Americans.
yeah, I think the
Ridiculous.
problem now, Imran, is that in America is that I don't really blame the players, but they prefer to stay local. Let's say within a 1-2 hours drive from where they live, and most of pull in America is in the Midwest, like Kansas, Texas, St. Louis, all them type of places, Chicago, and it's all drivable. You know what I mean? Tennessee,
Right.
Memphis. They're all they're all drivable places. So, and it's bar table everywhere. There's bar table tournaments every week, and decent money. You know what I mean? Big Calcuttas. So I don't blame the players
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
because obviously they have to make a living, and
Yeah, they don't have the need to travel, so they're kind of lucky in that respect.
and then bar table tournaments, I mean, the majority of the field's very weak. So obviously the professionals like Skylar Woodward and Justin Bergman, they're big favourites in them
Gonna
type
clean
of
up,
tournaments,
yeah.
like Shane McMinn and Rob Sayers, all them guys, Jason Clatt. So it's their bread and butter. So I don't blame them, you know what I mean? Billy Thorpe, all them guys. So it's just the way it is. There's that many bar table tournaments, and it's hard for the guys to. When you look at the expenses, they're thinking, well, I've more chance of winning this bar table tournament than I have going to New York to compete against the world's best players
Yeah.
in the World Pool Series. Where in Europe, the mindset is that all these guys seem to just want to play against all the best players, play in the best conditions, let's say, and test themselves, you know what I mean, on a world level. I mean, the Europeans, the discipline in Europe and the professionalism by the players and their ambition is like unbelievable. I mean, they're coming out of the woodwork now, these players.
Yeah, obviously we have the Euro Tour 5 times a year, and very good standard, probably the best standard tour in the world.
Yeah.
And you know, players don't shy away from playing on the Euro Tour. They come in numbers.
Yeah, it's like 200 every time.
Yeah.
And it's getting tougher and tougher. Well, these kids now, they're under the age of 20. I mean, there's got to be 20 of them. There's got to be 20 kids under the age of 20 who can beat anybody on any day.
on their day, yeah.
Ooh, that's a careless one there,
Yeah, he's
Look at
just
that.
pulled out of that a little bit.
Well, that's what I'm saying about his cue action.
Yeah.
You know, if like someone like Wu Chia Ching plays that shot, or Josh Phillip, he could never under hit that ball.
Yeah.
Because they go through the cue ball that little bit better. Because that little pause at the back, it's easy just to quit a little bit on the shot. You know, it's like a slap. Like if you see how he hit the cue ball there, he hit it too hard, and it was like a slap. So sometimes he can make that mistake. Where if you deliver that one really smoothly and a lot softer, the cue ball will automatically come back.
Yeah, he's underhit that by a good 6 inches. I think now he has to try and maybe carry on the 8 ball.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It might be flicking the 10 ball, which might be a good thing. Otherwise, it might going off in the middle. No, he's flicked the 10 ball, but does he have a shot? Ooh, I don't think so.
I wouldn't put Chris past potting this in the top left pocket.
Well, this is a shot. This is what he's renowned for, the shot making. So there's only really maybe 2 players I would like, if I had to pick 2 players right now to take this shot from me, it'd probably be Joshua Fillon and Chris Melling, or Jason Shaw, one of them 3 guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, Chris has made so many of these in his career. So
It's a big
I
rack as
think
well.
he's 50% chance of making this. This
Massive
8 ball in the top left, I think it's a 50-50 shot for Chris Melling. For most other players,
It's like 70-30.
for me personally, I'd be thinking I've probably got a 1 in 3 chance of making this. But hopefully I'd never put myself in this position.
Yeah, I don't think you would, Darren. I think you would have got good
Yeah.
position on your last ball.
But don't be surprised. I mean, he's got a good chance of making this. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think it's 50-50. For me, hit it too hard.
Yeah, way too
I think you
hard.
should have played that just normal speed, not even think about the cue ball or anything. But when you hit it hard like that, Imran, it tells me two things. You're not comfortable,
Confident. Yeah,
and you're a bit nervous.
yeah.
Yeah, that's too hard for me.
Big rack as well, and I believe it's Szewczyk to break next after this. If he clears up this rack, 8-5, could be 8-6 in a jiffy.
Yeah, so he's back in the game now. 8-5, back in the game.
Well, we say 8-5, but I've known people to mess up from here.
Yeah. We're very surprised.
Yeah, he's a solid player, and he feels comfortable over here in Romania, obviously winning 2 tournaments here before.
Yeah. He's taking the 11 and the 9. So some viewers were thinking, oh, why not take the one over the pocket? It's because it's the easiest shot, but obviously...
That's the easiest ball to get on the 8 ball.
Yeah, for sure. And but in a bar, you'd see that. You'd see the guy take the ball over the pocket in your local bar.
Yeah.
Just put as many balls as he can and then worry about the difficult stuff later. But obviously the professionals, they work out their plan very quickly and execute their patterns pretty good most of the time. So 8-5, we've got back in it now. Definitely back in the game now, Imran.
How did you do in your this tournament, Darren?
It was all right.
I heard you had a good win over Joshua Filler.
Yeah, well, I haven't played for 4 months, any American pool, so I played about 2 hours practice before the tournament. And then, the first match I played pretty solid against a Romanian player. Happy with the way I played there. And then against Filler, I played perfect, which was a surprise, really. So then I probably give myself a bit of expectation after that match, thinking, I'm dangerous, you know what I mean? And then last night, in the last 16, lost to Daniel Machel. Yeah, I mean, it was one of them matches. I didn't play bad, but I didn't play great. I was just sort of grinding all the way through the match.
Yeah, you missed a vital ball at an important stage. You took your eye off the ball.
Yeah, there was 2 bad mistakes. I made a bad mistake at 10-9. I missed my last ball to go up 11-9. It wasn't easy, but it should have been easy. It was sort of like similar to what Chris has just done, lost position when it should have been easy. So then, so that was a big game, and then 12-11, I missed a stupid ball, but I was still in good position. And then the guy's banked his last ball, nearly got it off in the middle, but he's no shot on the 8 ball. So he's come off, and the 8 ball's on its spot, and the cue ball's on the left-hand side rail. The 8 ball's on the spot, but it doesn't go in the bottom right-hand pocket because my ball's over that pocket, and there's another ball in the way also. So then, so he's come off the side rail and kicked the 8 ball into the corner.
It was sick, yeah.
I mean, obviously, and I was right in view of it from where the cue ball hits the rail, or the cue balls with the 8 and then go in. It was in my line.
Yeah.
So I knew as soon as he hit it, I thought he might make this. I just had one of them feelings, you know what I mean? It's like maybe a 1 in 20 chance of making it, but I mean, it's a great shot because he called it. But I mean, obviously, himself, he wasn't expecting to make it, obviously, but. You get punished, don't you? And I got punished for missing my opportunity in that rack, so I only myself to blame. I shouldn't have allowed him that opportunity, so I only myself to blame. So obviously I was disappointed last night, but obviously today's another day. It's happened before, it's going to happen again. So defeats are easy to accept as you get older, let's say. I just wasn't quite on my game, but considering I haven't played for 4 months, I can't really complain. I sort of...
good win against Joshua. I mean, he's probably one of the best players in the world right now.
For sure. I'm happy, really, the way I played. I'm coming to the tournament with no expectation at all. So, with a bit more luck, I could be in the final 8. You know what I mean? If he don't make that 8 ball, we go to a shootout. I fancy my chances in the shootout, and then obviously I could be playing in the last 8 today against Clenty Catcher, but it's not to be. It's all ifs and buts. I mean, I've won matches what I wasn't supposed to win in the past and gone on to win the tournament or got to the semis final. I mean, it's just you need that little bit of luck, don't you, at the right time? And obviously, it's happened for Daniel and even a few other guys. They've had that little bit of luck at the right time. And you're going to need it in this standard of a field. I mean, if you look at the last 32 players onwards, I mean, it's every match could be the final. I mean, the last 16, you look at the last 16 lineup, every match there could be the final, couldn't it? I mean, it's that tough. And that's just all European players in this tournament, where usually we have players from the Philippines and USA also. So this is a tough shot here. Is it gonna? It looks like he's going to try and make it clean. Ooh, made it. That's a good shot.
Yeah, Chris played a careless safety at the beginning of the rack. Yeah, he tried to snooker him behind the 3-ball, but overhit it by about 6 inches again. So, like you said, Darren, he's a little bit careless sometimes with his cue ball.
Yeah, I mean...
it's not a gimme, this run out, because the 8-ball's in a little bit of a dodgy position.
When it comes to pull, and when you're playing a long race like to 13, this is what I like about these longer races, is that it's a real test of skill, stamina, and your mental ability.
Mental ability, yeah.
Where a race to 7 and 9,
yeah,
it can be over in 45 minutes.
Exactly.
So to me, it's not really a test. It's just whoever gets that little bit of luck on the day. If they get off to a good start, like if you're leading 4-0 or 5-1 in a race tonight, it's a massive lead.
Yeah.
But in a race to 13, 8-3 is not that big a lead. I mean, it's obviously a good lead, but you've lots of opportunities to come back in the game.
Yeah.
And maybe Chris at 8-3 just switched off a little bit.
He did, yeah. He took his foot off the gas, and that's exactly what I said. Yeah, you can't do that against this guy, because he's going to take his chances.
Yeah, and then what happens then is that the momentum completely swings. And this guy looks like he's going to play steady all the way through the game.
Steady.
So, but Chris is capable of having that burst of 2 or 3 games, and it's and then he can pull clear again. So Chris is just going to stay patient. He's just going to stay really patient, as Chris.
So, yeah, he's landed a bit funny. I mean, it's not the easiest of run-outs tables for Wojtek.
Well, again, really, I mean, he hasn't. That 8-ball should be out there by now.
Yeah.
That 8-ball should be. It's like he's not too sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a bit like me when I play 8-ball. I'm not in my comfort zone. Whereas if I played 9-ball or 10-ball, then I'd be a lot more confident.
Yeah.
I haven't really played.
Yeah, but you've had some good results though at 8-ball.
Yeah, I mean, I can play the game, but I'm still not totally comfortable. Yeah, so he's got 2 stripes left, but he's, that 8-ball's in a dodgy position. So I think he's going to play the one he's nearest to and try and leave an angle to get on that 8-ball.
Oh, maybe he's going to play the double on the 8-ball.
Yeah, he could play the bank, or he could play in the gap between the 8 and the 3.
Yeah,
if he's feeling.
Maybe a play for the cross corner bank again.
Yeah. Needs to put a good stroke on this, and he developed, well, he touched the 8 but didn't quite get into the cue ball. Now he's got a tough bank cross corner.
What's his name? Christie. Yeah, bringing a series to the UK. It's possible to bring a series. What a shot this is. Wow.
Unbelievable.
What a shot that is. That's probably in the top 5 shots of the tournament.
Wow.
And what a massive game as well, Imran, because if he was to lose that game, it would have been 9-5, and all that hard work he's done to
Yeah,
get back in the
yeah.
game would have been wasted. But now it's really game on. 8-6.
Now this is a test of
what a shot
Chris's
that was.
mentality. Can he stay composed, not lose the plot, because he's lost a couple of games where he should have won. And Wojtek's pulled out a couple of good banks. So is Chris like seething in his seat, or is he still composed? We'll soon find out.
Well, I mean, in that situation there, I mean, there's nothing Chris can do about him doubling the banking the 8-ball. So again, you just got to stay patient. In these long races, there's going to be twists and turns, and even though this is come from 8-3 down to 8-6, it's not been that. It's not been clinical, you know what I mean? That he's run out of position a few times. He's like sort of second guessing himself, but he's coming with the big shots when he needs to.
Yeah.
Making good recovery shots, let's say. But eventually that might catch him up. You know what I mean?
I still think Chris has got another little burst in him. He's going to still put 2 or 3 whacks together.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the match last night, Imran, with him and Albin Auschen.
No, I didn't watch it. No, I lost to Albin the round before, so I'm not exactly going to watch the match.
Yeah, when he played Albin Auschen last night, and the score was 8-8.
Right.
And the 8-balls on the first diamond, just on the first diamond, just slightly off the rail, on the
long rail or short rail?
on the long rail, on this bottom left-hand corner here, let's say.
Yeah.
And he's snookered, so he had to go 3 rails around the table, and he cut the 8-ball in the corner.
Kicked it in. Wow.
Obviously that was massive, and he ended up winning 13-9, I think. So that was a massive shot in the game.
Yeah, Albin probably lost the plot after that.
I think Albin was like ready to kill somebody. Another careless shot, Imran. Got lucky there.
He
though.
needs it to stop. Yeah.
Got very fortunate there. Yeah, I mean, there's possible to bring a World Series to the UK. I've thought about it, but finding a venue is not easy. There's definitely no pool rooms what's good enough, in my opinion, or the tables in good condition to host a. I mean, there's a possibility. Let's say if the GB9 wanted to do something, maybe could run it at the side of the GB9. That's not out of the question.
Yeah, because we have a good setup there in Telford, that hotel, Radisson Inn. Nice hotel, big marina, can fit about 20 tables in it.
Yeah. But good things are happening in English 8-ball in the UK.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, yeah. You've been trying your hand at that.
Yeah, I haven't really committed myself, though. That's a problem. It's hard to commit yourself when you play American pool. I haven't played any pool anyway the last 12 months, really, to be honest. But obviously, I've been going through some personal issues, so just took a break from the game, really. But I've really enjoyed the break. I mean, sometimes it does you good when you've been doing something your whole life, every day, every week, living on an airplane and hotels. I mean,
I mean, you can't do that forever.
I mean, it really wears you down mentally.
Takes it out of you. Yeah.
So I've really enjoyed the break. I've been hanging around with my friends, spending a lot of time with my family, and been enjoying the English weather. I mean, this summer's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think the best summer since 1976, the year I was born.
So Chris is going to play a clever shot here. He's going to move that stripe near the blue ball, and which opens it up for the 8-ball now.
Very good.
Because the 8-ball didn't have a pocket before that.
Very good shot. He's still got a bit of work to do here, though. He needs to get good position on the free ball, I believe. The one to the top left. So he needs to get the right angle on this free ball.
It doesn't look like it's got the right angle.
Right. Interesting. He might have to draw this. Or can he spin it around the table? If he's spinning it around the table and playing for the 8-ball in the corner, he's got to play this absolutely perfect speed.
Yeah, he's looks a little bit flat.
He looks like he's doing that though. Did like that shot, but he's played it. Wow, he's done well to get around the back of that and miss that 15-ball. What a great shot that is.
That was a great shot.
Yeah, probably the best shot of his match so far. This way it is.
Yeah, and he's spare down on this. Lovely
Nice,
shot.
what a finish that is. He needed that big time. That was a big finish right there from Mr. Melling. In English 8-ball, he said his nickname in English 8-ball, they called him the Magician.
The Magician, yeah.
In the American pool, it's Powerhouse or Tubbsy. Well, he's probably had more nicknames than any other pool player in history. He's gone through a lot. He had him Lala, Tubbsy,
Oh yeah, Lala.
Tubbs.
Yeah.
He's had the Magician, he had the Magic Man, the Powerhouse. What else has he had? The Entertainer, the Bomb.
Mataba.
Yeah, he's a character, Chris Melling. That's for sure. He's a real character, and he's probably give like the majority of them nicknames himself, where usually someone else gives you the nickname.
Yeah.
Chris likes to pick his own, but us the players, we like to give him a little bit of stick. Like we all give each other a stick anyway.
Yeah.
So we like to call him. We call him Tubbs. Don't we? He's like a little teddy bear, isn't he? So just call him Tubbs.
Chris taking a time out there. It's a good time to take a time out as well.
Yeah, 96.
He stops the kind of momentum of the Polish kid.
Yeah, Lee Kendall's in the chat. He's the English 8-ball legend, England captain for English 8-ball about 25 years, and he started the.
He's the founder, right, of the pool series.
The Players Series. It's called the Players Series. So if you want to. It's a bit big prize money. The grand final, you could be looking at winning about 60,000-70,000 pound.
First place.
Yeah, I think the first place is 51,000.
Yeah.
For the grand final, but they have these Calcuttas, right? And the Calcuttas, they're bringing like 100,000.
Wow.
So obviously, if you get a piece of yourself in that, you could be looking at 80,000-90,000.
Can you just enter the
No.
grand final, or you have to play other events?
No,
during
this is where they blackmail you.
Okay.
You have to play in 3 out the first 4 tournaments to qualify for the grand final. So even though you've paid your full entry for the year, which is £1,400, you still have to show up and play 3 out of the 4.
Okay.
Which obviously for business-wise and everything else, it makes sense. Obviously, but yeah, I mean you've got to commit to the tour, and then obviously, but it's worth it for the grand final.
Yeah, so that's pretty decent money, isn't it?
It's Supreme Pulsar. I know the next one's in maybe next week actually. The next one, and that's 13,000 to the winner.
Wow.
So it's pretty good money, and the standard's obviously awesome. All the best players from both coasts. Because in English 8-ball, there's 2 different associations, which is a bit silly, obviously. A little bit like darts used to be.
Yeah.
Well, darts is still with the embassy, and I mean not embassy, the BBC and the Sky Sports. Obviously the Sky Sports one, the PDC is by far the strongest association field, let's say. And English 8-ball is a little bit similar, but now it seems in English 8-ball there's 2 different codes, but they're all spread out. Like you got half of the best players on the World Rules side, and half of the best players, the other half on the black ball side.
Okay.
So when it comes to the World Championships now, it's really tough to say is the world champion. With no respect to the guys who win these World Championships, but it doesn't. I did play the one in Blackpool. I mean, obviously it's still a World Championship, but it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, would he be the worthy world champion? Yeah.
And same on the other one. When I'm watching, I think. It's just don't feel like it, you know what I mean? It's like, but you all should be in the same tournament, you know what I mean? Mick Hill and all them guys all should be playing in the same tournament, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So how many events have they had so far in this Supreme Series?
They've had 2. The first one was won by Scott Gillespie, who you know.
Oh yeah.
He played in the doubles with Jason Shaw.
World Cup of Pool,
yeah, he's a really good player at English 8-ball. And then the last one was won by Phil Harrison, a really good friend of mine.
Oh yeah, I know Phil. Yeah.
Probably be top 4 player of all time at English 8-ball.
Yeah, I know Phil. He used to play a bit of 9-ball on our tour.
Yeah. I mean,
He was
Phil,
good as well,
Phil's one of them guys what could play anything really. I think he'd be good at Chinese 8-ball. He'd be good at American.
Yeah.
He was actually good at American pool.
Yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't tried Chinese 8-ball, or has he?
Well, Phil's one of them he doesn't like travelling. He doesn't like flying. He's a farmer by trade, let's say. He comes from a farming family, so he likes his own life. Obviously, he's got a couple of kids, got married. He's got his own business. He's a window cleaner now. So Paul to him is just he just loves the game. You know what I mean?
I
But
s-
he really loves spending time with his family. So
Yeah, yeah.
I understand why he don't play. I mean, he did speak about playing some GB9 ball events, but I think obviously we need to grow that a little bit with the prize
I
money.
can't
Let's say.
believe Chris if he snookered himself there. Sorry, going back to the game.
Oh yeah, wow, what a mistake. But
Yeah,
that's what Chris does though.
yeah.
But now he's got to pull out these shots again. You know what I mean?
He had like a massive window to be on the 7 ball. Or he can still make it. Yeah, he swerves it in. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it wasn't that difficult.
Nah,
The difficult part was obviously just getting on the wrong side of this ball, which he has done. But
Yeah.
obviously he's okay because the 8 ball passes in the bottom left also. So I would have. He might just draw over to the side rail or screw back.
Yeah, he doesn't even need to use the
Yep.
rail. So
That was okay.
Yeah.
That was nicely judged because it would have been easy to under it or over it, and then you're bringing the side pocket into
Yeah,
play. But
yeah.
he did that perfect.
Nice out.
Yeah, that's so turn the tide again here. So Chris, just staying patient, and I think he knew if he stayed patient, the opportunities would come.
Yeah, yeah.
And 10-6 is a good lead, and make sure you stay tuned after this match, where we will get an interview with a winner. Soon as this match finishes, so stay tuned, and if Chris wins or his opponent, you will get an interview with them. 10-6 race to 13. So Chris, in his own mind, was thinking, right, make sure I get to 12. That guarantees him a shootout. So really, he has to lose what 7-2 from here.
Yeah, yeah, tough feat. I mean, Chris showed a good strength of character there, yeah, because the Polish kid nicked a couple of racks off Chris, which he should have won, but Chris didn't seem too phased and came out with a good finish there.
Yeah, I didn't know what the odds were on these matches. I did try to have a look online before I come over on William Hill, but there was no odds on.
Yeah, obviously there's betting on these matches as well with WilliamHill.com.
Yeah, I know Chris would have been favourite in this match.
Yeah.
I think Catchy was the favourite for the tournament, along with Jason Shaw. Before this round of matches, but me personally, I might have had Chris's favourite just because I think he's got the slightly better half of the draw.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's important. The draws. I mean, it doesn't always work out that way, but
Yeah.
the draws do play a big part in any sport.
Yeah, and in actual fact, the William Hill website gave a special bet on Chris Melling at 20-1 to win the tournament. He was usually from the start he was
10-1.
10-1 outright to win it, but they gave a special bet of 20-1. So those of you guys on 20-1 would be like licking your lips at the moment.
Yep.
And there's still a long way to go, but you'd be
Well,
liking it at 20-1 from here.
Yeah, and if you bet him each way, he only has to get to the final,
There you go. Yeah,
and you're getting half of the odds, so you're getting 10-1 for him
Yeah.
to get to the final.
Yeah.
So you'd be one match away, really. Presuming he wins this match, of course. Still got to finish the job here.
20-1 is massive for Chris Melling, a former World 8-Ball Championship champion.
Yeah, he's like one of them players. He's like dangerous in any tournament.
See, but then he can make a stupid mistake
Yeah,
like
like
that.
that. It's like you never put him favourite in any. In my mind, I never put him. Me personally, I don't put him favourite in any tournament. But he's a player that you always look out for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're thinking,
Yeah,
oh,
he's dangerous.
don't ever discard him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like any time he's like he can win any tournament. But you always look for the most solid, consistent players.
Yeah.
Like your Mick Hills if you're playing English 8-ball, your Phil Harrisons. In American pool, you're looking at like your Shane Bonings and
Yeah.
Jason and probably the people like Niels, Copigny, all them guys. You know.
Yeah.
But when you're like looking for a bit of value, then you won't go far wrong with someone like Chris, because you always get decent odds on him. You know what I mean? You always get. Oh, look
That's
at
a
this
good
shot.
shot.
This has worked out
Oh,
unbelievable.
this could work
wow, Imran. That's one of your rolls.
Wow.
That's one of your rolls there. Look at him put his hand up there to his opponent. So obviously he didn't play for that shot, but
It's worked out a treat.
yeah.
Absolute dream.
Chris is a real character. He always makes out I'm lucky. I says, Chris, you need to watch a few of your videos back.
Yeah. You're damn right. Chris has
Unbelievable.
got more rolls in the bakery.
Yeah, he's a character, is Chris. He always like to to try and put you as a lucky one. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I'm thinking, well, I think you ask the majority of the players, I think they'll be saying your name will be coming up in that conversation a few times.
Yeah, what a amazing result from that shot. Cuts a long ball in, develops the ball on the short route, and then cue ball goes up table and develops another ball.
Yeah. Well, you need that little bit of luck, and when things are running well and you're playing good, that things like that happen.
Yeah,
When things are going bad, you just never get anything like that happen for you. You know what I mean? It's just everything just goes wrong.
yeah. It was like Kachi last night in his match with Mario. He was just getting the rub of the green, little nudges and flicks here and there, and that happens, like you say, when things are going right for you.
But I do like this take what you make, Imran. I think it makes a massive difference playing 8-ball. Take
Yeah,
what you make.
definitely. Otherwise, the games are fast. I think.
Yeah, the game's way too easy if you don't play take what you make. So what we mean here is that we have a special rule that if you break off and you make 2 stripes and 1 solid, or you make 1 solid and no stripes, and you have to take the balls you made the most. So for example, if you make 2 stripes and a solid on the break, you have to take stripes, and that makes a huge difference playing this game. Not all the time, because sometimes they'll be laying nicely after the break, but sometimes you might make stripes and not a solid, and you're thinking, but solid, and not have a shot. So then you got to think a lot more. You got to be more creative, and your patterns are going to be a lot better. And that's why we're not seeing players run 3-4 racks consecutively. Really, I mean, there might be a few of them out there, but you're not going to see 6-7 packs.
It's definitely a really good rule. Take what you make. Otherwise, the game of American 8-ball on big pockets is not too much of a game.
Yeah.
And
also, we took out the rule that after the break on an open table, you can't play a solid onto a stripe or stripe and solid, because again, that's just making the game too easy. So we're trying to make the game tougher because we need to, because 8-ball, in my opinion, on American style pool tables is too easy. So we made the rules a bit tougher, and I think most players like it.
Yeah, very good rules. We were breaking from the box in some.
Well, last year we had to break outside the box, but
too
many players were complaining.
Okay.
Because they were breaking good and not making balls, so we just let them break.
Nearly went in the side there.
That was a bad break there.
It was a bad. Yeah, he hit the one like half ball and it's come up dry.
Well, that's why he's not made the ball on the side pocket.
As a result,
I hit a couple like that myself yesterday, to be fair. And you've got to hit them full. If you hit them full 9 times out of 10, you make a ball on the break. And also, in a different rule we have also is that on the break shot, you have to hit the head ball on the break shot. You can't play a cup break. You can't cup break. So you have to hit the head ball, which is the 1 ball, which I think should be the rule in any 8-ball discipline. And I think playing the cup break second ball down is like a coward's way of breaking, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of skill out of the game.
Yeah, they let them do that in some American tournaments, don't they? You're allowed to hit the second ball.
Yeah, any American tournament you can do that. You can do it in the World Championships, I believe. 8-ball, either discipline. I like to see the head ball get hit and see the ball, the guys breaking hard. You know what I mean?
There is a 8-ball tournament coming up, I believe, in Dubai later on in the year. I think it's October and November. Dubai Open.
Yep, there's a big Dubai Open, I believe, $100,000 to the winner.
Yeah, that's a good tournament, and it's sponsored by one of my sponsors, actually, Night Shot.
Yep, and Predator Q's.
And Predator Q's.
Both your sponsors.
Both my sponsors. Yep. That'd be a great event in Dubai, of course.
And someone says, what's your opinion on the Revo versus the Q-Tech carbon shaft? Well, I don't have an opinion because I don't know what the difference is between the Q-Tech and the Revo. I mean, obviously I know what a Revo is, but I don't know how or what the Q-Tech carbon shaft is. I know that Shane's playing with a Q-Tech carbon shaft.
Right, yeah, I don't know too much about that either, but I would say, I would say that Predator has better technology than Q-Tech, full stop, so I would say the Revo's better.
Yeah, but I believe that, is it Mez who are bringing the carbon shaft out also?
Yeah, and Perry cues are
And
also
Pericuse, yeah. So
also
it
bringing
looks,
one out. Yeah,
so it looks like they're all jumping on the bandwagon.
yeah, and it's wrong really because Predator invented a great shaft, and now everyone's on the bandwagon copying it. And,
Yeah.
but that's the business for you.
I mean, obviously, everyone's entitled to do whatever they want. I mean, it might set a trend. It might be the future. There might not be no more wood shafts getting made in 10 years' time,
Yeah,
20 years' time. Where everyone might be playing with this because it lasts longer. It's never going to warp. It's never
Yeah.
going to bend. It's very hard to damage. So it's. I do believe pool is becoming like golf, where the equipment you can change your equipment like by switching on the light switch. I mean, I think it's very easy to
Right.
switch to switch equipment in American pool, and same in golf. You know what I mean? It's the technology is improving all the time, so people are changing their equipment all the time. I mean, I've gone through loads of cues playing American pool. English 8-ball, I played with the same cue for 15 years,
Right.
and when I broke it, I was devastated.
Yeah, yeah.
I was never the same player again. And the same with Chris Melling.
Yeah, he had one
Chris
as
Melling
well.
had the same cue, and someone stole it. And in my opinion, Chris Melling was never the same player again.
Yeah, it was like an 8 mil tip. He used to play
English
in
8-ball.
Cardiff World Championship with it, I remember.
Yep.
I never used to miss a ball.
It was 7mm tip, and it was 13 ounce.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
Wow.
I think that's when Chris, in my opinion, was at his best. And then
Yeah.
also Stephen Hendry, when he got his snooker cue broke at the airport.
Yeah.
He was never the same player again. At age 32, once that cue broke, he was only 32 years old.
Yeah.
And after that, I think he only ever won like one tournament after that.
Yeah.
He was never the same player again.
Amazing, isn't it? What a cue can do.
Yeah, it's like McGill, English 8-ball. He's played with a 20-pound cue his whole life. Riley's. And that's what Stephen Hendry played with, a Riley's snooker cue. It's like £20 from Argos.
Argos, yeah.
Yeah, so English 8-ball, it's just that feel and that wood and that ash, you know what I mean? It's just the groove and everything, it's just different. Where American pool is just like golf clubs, just get it out the bag and pick whichever cue. I mean, Ronnie Alcano, I've seen him use 5 or 6 cues in the same match.
In the same match.
Every tournament he's got a different cue. He'll go through 2 or 3 cues every tournament, and guaranteed. It's unbelievable.
That's just crazy in my opinion.
Yeah, that's like.
What would be going through your mind?
Well, that's why he's
how
not
to
winning.
Hit this ball?
That's
Is
why
it
he's
low
probably not
deflection
winning
or high
anymore.
Deflection? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's not winning no more. He's just trying to be different, you know what I mean?
So Wojtek showing some fighting spirit here. Won the last rack to go 11-7. Breaks with a nice break here, and a pretty good lay of the land. This could go 11-8.
Yeah, while Chris is on 11, he'll still feel like he's in the match. So there's definitely no quitting in this guy. He's got a really nice layout here. I'm guessing there's the 15 past the 8.
Yeah, that seems to be the only problem. If the 15 doesn't pass the 8, he has to
Well, I
find a
think
pocket for it, but
it
it
goes-
shouldn't be too much.
If
of
it
a
doesn't,
problem.
he'll probably play for the top right, sorry, past the 2. He's got a lot of easy balls to get on that ball there. He's got a lot of options here. The balls are laying really nicely. Like you say, he can play for the side pocket also.
Yeah.
I would imagine he's going to leave the, I believe it's the pink stripe. That will be probably his ball to get on his last ball.
So he plays 11, 15, then leaves a pink stripe to get
Well,
on
I think he's gone the wrong way already. I think he should have played for this ball down here first.
Okay.
And then he could have took maybe the 2 in the side, the pink stripe in the side, and then the 15, and then played this ball, what he's playing now, to get on the key ball, which would have been the 15.
Yeah.
Because he would have been natural coming over to the left-hand side then. Because he could have played 3 stop shots there, but with what he's done now, obviously he's got to play perfect position. So there's a chance of this going wrong. You see, if you don't get perfect on this ball, he's put himself in a bit of trouble here, Imran. You see?
I think he's okay. He can draw across.
He's okay, but he's made it a lot harder than what
Yeah,
it should have been.
yeah,
Now it can go wrong. Where
Yeah.
if it had gone the right way, it couldn't go wrong.
Yeah, and he's bridging a bit as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's just
Played it well enough.
This is what happens when you play the wrong patterns. I mean, he'll probably still get away with it, everything else, but eventually this will bite you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, doesn't really want to kiss the 8 ball here. Wants to try and avoid it
Yeah, he's got to screw in between
through
them.
the gap, and like you said, he's made it a lot more difficult. But fancy him. Oh, he's
Nice
played
shot.
it with inside. Yeah, there you go.
Nice shot.
Yeah, nice shot. I made it a lot harder than it needed to be actually, but he's
Well,
done
I actually
well.
thought that was. I thought he played for this pink stripe in the middle of the table, but that's actually the 4-ball. So my eyes have
Okay,
gone.
yeah.
So I do apologise. So he probably played the pattern okay, actually. Yeah, that was a bit deceiving to my eyes anyway. Getting old, so my eyes are not as good as what they used to be. Well, he's still in the game, 11-8. So he's like made these little mini comebacks, and but now he needs a big one. Yeah, if you want to see all the scores and the draw and the brackets, you can go on our website, the worldpoolseries.com, and you can find the draw and the live scoring, the brackets, everything else, all the latest news. You can worldpoolseries.com, our social media page on Instagram. They do a lot of stories during the day, like a lot of fun clips, and our Facebook page. We've been putting a lot of interviews up. We'll have some more as the day progresses also. So even when the matches are getting played, watch out for some live interviews. Maybe you might see one with Imran and a few of the other ugly pool players. Sorry, Jim.
This match is heating up, 11-8. Chris really needs to win this rack. Doesn't want to go 11-9.
Yeah, watch this Revo. Got to make sure you go through the cue ball. Nice.
Yeah.
Go right through the cue ball. There you go. It's a better break.
It's a better hit, and got robbed really. The 2-ball was about to drop, but didn't.
Yeah.
I think that's dry.
Yeah. Have a good look. Not a big fan of that though, Imran, when the player stays at the table a little bit longer than what he should do after he's not made a ball or missed, let's say.
Well, sometimes they're not sure if they've made a ball.
Yeah, I mean that's okay, but I mean once the other guy approaches the table, I think you should move out of the way. I'm not criticism of Chris. I mean most players do it.
Yeah.
I've probably done it myself.
Yeah.
Just saying when I'm watching, I think you need.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you
You
get
can
a
outstay
dry
your
break,
welcome a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've made a dry break and you're kind of seething. You're not too happy, and you just want to check the lay of the land for your opponent.
I mean,
Does
having a
this
quick
go,
look
does
and
that
everything
go?
else is
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I mean, but I think once the
Yeah,
guys are
ideally.
coming to the table, then you
Just
just get
go
out
and
of the
sit
way.
down, yeah.
I'm not. I think Chris was just. He was okay. He wasn't overstaying his welcome. He wasn't overstaying his welcome. You know what I mean? It's like, but sometimes players will just stay there forever, and you got to sort of like give him a nudge. You know what I mean? Like you got to give him a little bump.
So he can't play a stripe onto a spot here. Oh, he found a gap for the 2-ball.
This needs to roll. Good shot. Dangerous little shots then, because it's so easy to over-hit that ball, or undercut, under-hit it. You know what I mean? So and then you got to get that speed perfect. So he's played that really well, really.
Yeah, I'm not sure if those two. I think it's the 1 and the 6 on the top left.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they go.
Well, the 6 doesn't go, so he's going to try and use the 4 to break it open, I would think. The
Yeah.
4, he can go 2 rails, come underneath it.
And probably stay on the 7
yeah,
as
if
well.
he
like
kisses
that.
the 6, he'll
Yeah.
probably have a shot on the 7, so that'd be great. He wants to try and leave the 5 ball if he can. Yeah, that's a good shot. The 5 ball should be his last ball. So here, play the 4, play 2 rails, hopefully kiss the 6, and the cue ball will naturally come out because the cue ball's heavier.
Yeah.
So like a lot of English 8 ball players watching this for a year, but the cue ball might get stuck behind the 9 ball. No, it's impossible to get stuck behind the 9 ball with these balls, unless you hit it that soft. So that was dangerous in my opinion, Imran. I think he played that a little bit softer
Yeah,
than what he should have done.
Yeah.
So he's played position really for the 7. But if it does, I mean, obviously it goes. So obviously he's played it great, but I would have put a bit more meat into that previous shot.
Yeah.
Because that could have gone wrong.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it could have gone wrong, the previous shot, and I didn't see that happening.
Wow.
That was
It's
a
a
bad
good-
miss out there.
Very bad miss, and this is a good chance for Chris because he can play the 10 in the side and get.
The only thing I'd say there,
To
Imran,
the
maybe
end rail.
he couldn't see as much of the 7 balls what we thought.
Yeah, that's why kissing the 6 was definitely the better option. He would have had a thinner cut on the 7, but at least it would have gone. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he didn't. He had to he was trying to just nick, just pinch a little bit the pocket maybe.
Yeah, yeah,
But hitting at that speed, you're not going to get away with it. Well, Chris careless again.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was a
Wiped its feet.
bit loose on that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, how good he plays with the rest, the bridge as we call it. I thought he would have used the bridge for that shot. So he's just get a bit of side on the cue ball when you're stretching like that.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of them balls missed. This is a big game here. This is
Oh my
bad.
God, what's
This
he
is
done
no good
there?
also. Well, he's got lucky again.
I mean, why didn't he just play it 2 rails and play the ball in the corner?
Well, I mean, anything but that. You either commit to playing the balls in the side or you commit to playing in the corner. It's like he's didn't know what to do. Oh, he's got to cut this ball in now. But this is Chris Melling. He'll make things very difficult for himself. But
He got it.
he's,
Wow, what a
he's got the
shot.
ability to get
Yeah.
back in position, let's say, and make a great shot like that.
Yeah, recovery shots specialist.
So for the purists, and I mean for the viewers and the people who want entertainment, then yeah, you should watch. You're going to get your value watching Chris Melling.
Chris Melling.
If you want to watch perfect 8-ball, then go and watch Mick Hill or
Darren Appleton.
yeah, that style of player.
I played you once in a World Pool Series. I think it was in New York last year,
yeah.
and you played the best 8-ball pool I've ever seen.
Well, that's probably the best I've played in 3 years, to be honest. I did play great in that match. I remember it really well. I did play great in the tournament, actually. I played great in the tournament until the final.
Cheers, Darren.
The final, I just run out a bit of a gas there. I did play great in that tournament, but against you especially.
Against me, I mean, the clusters you were breaking out and
yeah, everything was perfect.
The way you were going about things was just awesome.
Yeah.
Best pool I've ever seen. 8-ball.
Well, I mean, obviously I specialise in 8-ball, but you still need to compete though and play a lot more. You know what I mean? It's easy to lose that. Oh, something's happened. Oh, it's called just complaining about something.
For me, you are the best 8-ball player, American 8-ball player in the world. For me, with your patterns and stuff. But
yeah, I think maybe
a
I played
lot of 8-ball comes down to the break.
Yeah, maybe I
If
played
you had a slightly better break.
Yeah, that's cost me. I mean,
Yeah.
I lost 2 years back to back in the semi-final of the World 8-Ball Championships, and I lost cost me my break.
Yeah, I mean,
the break cost me both times.
You could lose to a lot lesser player just because the guy breaks better and gets easier.
Oh yeah, I mean,
run-outs.
I think of all the 8-ball tournaments I played at American Pool, and the amount of times I've lost in the final or the semis or the quarters. But the break cost me. You know.
Yeah.
My opponents have outbroke me, and obviously it's disappointing. But I have won tournaments at American 8-ball as well, and that's when I broke good and obviously played good. But it is frustrating when you know you play the game better than your opponents, but you're just not getting the same opportunities as them. You know what I mean? So. Well, that's something obviously you're going to work on. So obviously the break's a big part of the game, and my break's very inconsistent. I'll make no secret about it. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's not so good. You know what I mean? If I broke like Shaman Boning, then I'd be very happy. And I think, well, we all would be playing any game. If we broke like Shane and let's say Jason Shaw and who else was great breakers? Catchy breaks unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had their break, I mean. Even yourself, Jim. I mean, your break's probably not your strongest point. Someone like Mark Gray, you know what I mean? If we had their break, we might not be sitting in the commentary box now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's part of the game, isn't it? The break's a big part of the game. We've got to work harder. Got to practice the break harder.
The most important shot.
Yeah, at this level, it's massive. It must be nicer when you're breaking, knowing you're going to make a ball. Playing 8-ball or 10-ball.
Yeah.
I mean, Shane, he just goes to the table. You know he thinks he's going to make a ball.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. You know what I mean? He knows he's going to control the cue ball. He might get a look in. He might get kicked into the side pocket or the corner, or it might get kicked safe into the top rail. He might have a tougher shot, but.
And they give you that confidence as well when you know you're going to make a ball.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
You get a rhythm going. He's missed the spot. Oh, it's gone in.
Yeah, I mean, you get that rhythm going and your momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, probably the last time I run 7 racks was like 5 or 6 years ago. Because you got to become consistent with the break, you know what I mean?
So this looks like 12-9. Chris has done well to put himself on the hill.
Yeah.
But this kid's not giving up.
No, he's not giving up. But you just feel like he's got that mistake in him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chris needs. He needs some help from Chris. Because Chris is going to be breaking. Chris has got the next break.
Yeah.
He's going to be breaking at 12-9 and 12-11. So Chris has still got 2 more breaks here.
Nice break by Wojtek. Made 2 or 3 balls and then got an easy
Yeah,
table.
he's not left this as easy as what he should have done, but should be
Deserves.
okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
So he's got 2 breaks left, and Chris has got 2 breaks left. So it's a tall order for him to come back, but it's very possible. I think he's going to need some help along the way to get to. He needs to win 3 games actually. He's 12-9, so it goes to 12-12. Remember, if it goes 12-12,
It's a
it'll
shootout,
be a shootout.
which we all like to see. But Chris being a friend of mine, I don't want to see a shootout here, really.
I like to see a shootout. I love shootout. I like to see players.
Yeah,
dogging
it
it.
is a great, exciting.
I
part
like
of
watching
this.
top players dogging it. It's just, I think it's the best thing.
It is definitely an awesome part of this
yeah.
format you've put together. I think all tournaments should have a shootout at Hill Hill.
Yeah, I mean, it's in your own hands, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
All the pressure's on. It's in your own hands. Nobody to blame but yourself.
yeah.
How many times did players come off the table? They've lost Hill Hill,
Yeah.
11-10,
Yeah.
let's call it 13-12,
Yeah.
9-8, and it's this and that. The autopsy is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could write books and books. You make a fortune on autopsies in the pool world. The excuses and I didn't get a shot. He's broken run. He's got lucky in the break. I've got kicked off
no,
the
on
break.
the side.
You know what I mean? But that's pool. I mean, it's a very lucky game, along as well as a very skilled game.
Yeah.
You need so much luck on the break. So our decision was to make it. If you played a match and you played for what they've been playing 2.5 hours, 2 hours, and the score's 12-12, I think you don't deserve to lose by someone breaking and running
out,
or you breaking the cue ball getting kicked into the pocket and your opponent's got a roadmap.
Well said. Very
Where,
good statement.
Yeah, I think if it's 12-12, both players should get their opportunity at the table.
Yeah.
And I think the 5 shootout shots we have are very fair.
Yeah.
And the players are supposed to make them. They're favourite to make every shot.
Yeah.
They're not easy, but you only miss it if you cue the ball badly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where if you put a good stroke on the ball, you're going to make it. If you don't put a good stroke on the ball, you're going to miss it. But if you look at other shootouts like the Chinese 8-ball,
Oh, that was a hard
I mean
shot.
that's just stupid.
In the World Team Championships, yeah.
No, also the World Team Champions. But I mean the one they use the same shootout
Oh,
for
right,
Chinese
the
8-ball.
Chinese 8-ball,
They put it on
yeah.
the black spot, let's say on the snooker table, and the cue ball on the brown spot, let's say on the snooker
Yeah,
table.
yeah.
I mean the chances of making that, it's like 1 in 10 chance of making
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's like it's the most stupidest shootout there's ever. It's the most stupidest position
Yeah.
for a shootout shot of all time.
Yeah.
Especially on a Chinese 8-ball table where the pockets are smaller than a snooker table pocket. They play with American pool balls. I mean, I watched some of them shootouts. If someone makes 1 ball, they're going to win.
Yeah.
They get 5 shots each, and the score's always like 1-0 or 1-1. And then it's just stupid, you know what I mean? There's no pressure on the shot because you're not expected to make it. You understand? It's like that World Team Championships.
Yeah.
You're not expected to make it.
No, but
It's like a 50-50 shot
Yeah.
on an
was a
American
tough
pool
shot
table. I
as
mean, it's
well,
a very
yeah.
hard shot on
Yeah.
American pool table, but there's no pressure on it because you're not expected
Yeah,
to make it.
yeah,
So when you miss it, you don't feel bad. Where on this one, you know you've dogged it. You know what I mean? This shootout here, you know you've dogged it.
Chris looks like he's going to take this match. He just needs to be a little bit careful
Yeah.
with his last ball. Yeah, probably wants to play it in the top pocket. Oh, he's playing. Oh, he can play it in the side, yeah, and just roll through. A little nudge on the 15 and should roll forward for the 8-ball.
Yeah, and he's wisely asked for the cue ball to be cleaned.
Yeah, because when he's rolling the ball, you've got a good chance of getting a kick.
Yeah, just run through the 15 ball here. Wants to go down about 2 feet. No English on the cue ball. It's nice smooth stroke. There you go. And this is for the match. Chris Melling will be making his 2nd appearance in the semi-final of the World Pool Series, and yet to reach a final. This could be his day. Nice.
Well done, Chris.
Well played, Chris Melling. Chris Melling is the first man through to the semi-finals with a 13-9 victory over his opponent. I'm going to leave that to him.
Wojtek Szewczyk.
Top player from Poland. And Chris will not play again until tomorrow. He'll play the semi-final, the first semi-final at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning. Stay tuned. We're going to do an interview with Chris Melling, and after this match, the next match will be 3 p.m. So make sure you join us back at 3 p.m. We've got the Romanian
Loan Ledani
Yeah.
and Fedor Gors
and
from
Fedor
Russia.
Gors from Russia.